everyone, welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I have done a top foundations video. These are my top full coverage foundations. I have 7 sitting right here in front of me. This is the 4th in my blind foundation testing series. I do have to give you a little bit of explanation at the beginning of this. I'll put a timestamp down below if you're familiar with my blind foundation testing. I know a lot of you though are new here, so I want to give you the backstory of how I came upon all these favorites and my skin type, my age, and all that good stuff. In a nutshell, I took all the foundations that I had at the time and I put them in unmarked travel size containers. And I separated them into 3 categories: light, medium, and full coverage. I really just wanted to test these foundations out blindly so that I could see how I truly felt about the foundations that I had without any labels, without any bias at all. So that's why it's called the blind foundation testing series. I do a lot of foundation testing and I just wanted to see what would happen when I had no idea what I was putting on my face. I did use a numbering system for my notes. I don't think I've said that before in the intro of my top foundations videos. I think I say it in the beginning when I go through what I do, but I'm asked that a lot. So I do want to just give you that disclaimer. I didn't find out what I used until the end when I started uncovering things. I basically put on a spreadsheet all the criteria with the numbers of the foundation. When I started writing down my thoughts on what I was wearing when I didn't know what I was wearing, some subcategories started to come out of this. So some foundations will be in multiple categories, some didn't make it into any categories. At the end, I'm gonna have a summary of my top favorite foundations that I wear the most, and you'll find out which ones didn't make it in and why and all that good stuff. I'm gonna have a video linked down below where it goes over the methodology. I'm also going to link my bulletproof foundations video because there's a timestamp in there that will take you to all the full coverage foundations that I tested in my blind foundation testing. I'm also going to link you to my skin-like foundations video where you can see all the light and medium coverage foundations that I tested. And today we are going to talk about my top 7 full coverage foundations that I like on my over 40 combination oily sensitive skin. But first, if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and become part of the family, and let's get started. I'm going through in no order, and I will always get asked, but which one is your very, very favorite? I have different favorites for different reasons. So I'll say my feelings as I go, and that's just how I feel about the foundation. I'm not going from the least favorite to the best. I'm just giving you my thoughts. I have written here my notes that I wrote on the day when I tested it, when I didn't know what it was. And I'm also interweaving my own thoughts from what I know about this foundation, because like I said, this has been revealed now. I know what it is, and I have had experiences with all of these foundations. So foundation number 1 is Too Faced Peach Perfect. The shade that I am in is light beige. If I ever forget to say a shade, or if you're ever curious about my shade in any foundation, I have a link below to all of my foundation and concealer shades. I put that on my blog for you guys because it is so helpful for those of you that need it. I have in my notes here that this applied normally. It was not a quick application, but it didn't take a long time either. This is matte but not flat even before setting it with powder. Medium to full coverage, buildable, not cakey. This gave me an airbrushed finish. It lasted 12 hours, looking beautiful all day long without blotting. Feels good on the skin. I concur with that. This is one where I kind of knew what it was though because of the scent. That's just the nature of what it was. I couldn't clothespin my nose together with some of these foundations, but you can't not breathe the entire time you're putting on foundation. And I think those of you that have tried this, have similar skin type to me, agree with that. This is a great foundation if you want a long wearing foundation that looks great on the skin. It doesn't look too heavy. It doesn't necessarily look skin-like either. It just looks nice and polished. You can wear it to work. You can wear it to a special occasion. It's just a really nice foundation. I like that I can build it from medium to full coverage. And I do need to give you another disclaimer. I am not typically a full coverage foundation wearer. I like more of a medium to full coverage. So these particular foundations are full coverage for me, and I know they're full coverage for a lot of you. They do build up to that. So if you disagree with me, please leave it down below. But for me, I feel like all of these can build up to a full coverage. Number 2 is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Performance Wear liquid foundation. I am in the shade Sandalwood. I think this has a number to it, 15, Sandalwood 15. I have also that this applied normally, matte but not flat, sets well, medium to full buildable coverage, not cakey, lasted all day, felt good on the skin, looked really, really pretty. I only had to blot once in 12 hours. So those are the notes for this foundation. Now I have had this in another video as well. What has impressed me when wearing this foundation, when I know what I'm wearing, is that this lasts on me even when I am sweaty and disgusting. And I say that because I wore it to a Mardi Gras ball last year and we danced and it was hot and sweaty, and this lasted on me with minimal blotting. I thought my makeup was melting off my face with the amount that I was sweating, and every time I looked in the mirror, it was almost like my makeup was resetting itself. It looked that good. So I have been super impressed with this foundation, and I feel like it gets overshadowed a lot by the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation, but this is a great foundation, you guys. If you have not tried it, I would try it, and they have a ton of shades to pick from if I am recalling correctly. So I really, really like that foundation. The third foundation on my list is Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I am in the shade 128 Warm Nude. I have in my notes that this blends easily. It's demi-matte even after setting. It's medium to full buildable coverage. It's not cakey. It's beautiful. It lasts all day. I do not have to blot much. Great daytime foundation. I feel like I'm saying a lot of the same things with these foundations so far. I haven't read further down in my notes, but this is a great everyday foundation. I feel like in terms of wanting just a good foundation that looks somewhat natural and gives more of a demi-matte finish than a matte finish, this is a great option and it's affordable. I think you could put this in a high-end bottle and you would think it was high-end. It is that good. For my skin anyway. I love this. This is definitely one of my top foundations. That's why it's in this video. This is one that I typically prefer for daytime rather than special occasion, simply because I feel like it just gives me a more natural look because of the demi-matte finish, but I can build it up to full coverage and it doesn't look cakey. Let me know below your favorite full coverage foundations. I love getting your suggestions. I love seeing you guys interact in the comments, and let me know if you agree with me so far as well. I love hearing that too. I have, for my number 4 pick, the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. This says it blended nicely. It's between demi-matte and matte coverage. Nice color match. Not perfect with pores, but still looks good on the skin. So we do have a little bit of variation here in the description. Gives a realistic skin look while still giving non-cakey full/medium coverage. Needed no concealer. Airbrushed my sunspots. The reason why I made that comment is because I have some sunspots right here on my nose and then one kind of down here. I feel like even with full coverage foundations, a lot of times I still have to use concealer. Sometimes things will blur those sunspots, sometimes they don't, but this is one that really, really does a great job. Now it's not pore blurring like the other ones that I've talked about, in that it does look more like your skin, and we have pores. We're not supposed to walk around looking like we're poreless, you know, especially as we get older, we do have pores. Now, if you have really, really large pores, you definitely want something that's probably more pore minimizing, but this just really does a great job of looking natural, but giving you full coverage. Oh wait, I didn't finish my notes. I have that it was a 16-hour day and I blotted twice. At around 12 hours, I did start to feel it on my skin. My makeup stayed on all day and it doesn't look flat. So take that into consideration. You can get a really good wear time out of this before you start feeling it on your skin. At least that's been my experience with it. In the number 5 spot is a foundation that I actually haven't worn in a while, largely because I need to get a different shade. The shade I have is a little bit too light for me. So this is the Cover FX Power Play Foundation. A lot of you also really like this foundation. This is in the shade G30, but if you are my foundation shade, I would definitely get a shade that's a little bit deeper than this. I have that this is very thin. It blends in easily. It's as close to skin looking as full coverage can be. Medium to full coverage. Covers well, but not heavy looking. 14-hour day, only had to blot 1 to 2 times. Not greasy shine. Thin, lightweight, matte. So I usually do blend this in with my Drunk Elephant D Bronzy to bronze it up a little bit. All of the other ones have been pumps, even the Too Faced Peach Perfect. This is also a pump right here. This is, I think, the only one in here. Nope, it's not. That is not a pump. It's a squeeze tube. I don't particularly like this because it is square and I'm not sure that you can actually get out the remainder of it. However, it is a plastic container. It's really light and there's something to be said for a foundation that travels really well like this one does. This is a very thin foundation that looks really good on the skin and it gives great coverage. So I think for a full medium coverage foundation that is buildable, this one is the one that you would want if you are looking for something that does look close to skin. Now it doesn't look like skin, but it's almost there. It's hard to get a full coverage foundation that really truly looks like your skin, but this is as close to it as I've ever found. Were you wondering where the Estee Lauder Double Wear was? Here it is. This is Estee Lauder Double Wear. It does look funny. A kind viewer informed me that the pump of the CoverGirl, I think it's CoverGirl, Vitalist Elixir Healthy Foundation, that pump fit this bottle and she was right. So thank you so much for that. And now you guys know I just swapped out the lid because I wear this more than I wear that foundation. And it kind of looks good too on there. I've done numerous videos with this foundation. I'm in the shade Dawn most of the year. In the heart of the summer, I can go up a shade to Rattan. I have in my notes, when I didn't know what it was, that it sets quickly, so blend quickly. Thin yet medium full coverage, nice on the pores, last all day, not look or feel heavy. Sometimes I write really cryptically. Blot every 4 to 5 hours, but never greasy. Demi matte finish, half a day without shine come through. So this is a foundation that I really only have to lightly blot when I blot, and I do love the finish. I was just asked by a viewer that was in her 50s if I had another recommendation because she thought this was only for young people, and it's not. I think a lot of people are really pleasantly surprised by this when they try it, if they apply it in the right way. I do have a video on how to apply it that has helped tons of you out. A lot of you found me from that video. I'm a little weird about that video because the intro is too long. It's just not one of my more personable videos because I just wasn't comfortable on camera yet, but it has helped so many of you with the application of this that I'm so glad that I did that video. I think if you go in with this with a brush and you think you can apply it like any other foundation, even with a sponge, if you dot this all over your face and you go in and try to apply it, you're not gonna like it because it's gonna set too quickly. You have to really go in small sections, blend it out, and use a small amount. And if you do it like that, you can get a really beautiful result. I'll link that video down below for you guys, but I do love this foundation. This will probably always be in my top foundations. This is probably my longest running foundation that I own. My number 7 pick, last but certainly not least, is the Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation. I am in the shade Fawn in this foundation. I have very full coverage. Very is written in caps. Too much coverage on the first day, so I had to go into a second day. Second day, applied less and felt it looked good on the skin while being full coverage. Good, long-lasting special event makeup. Oil controlling, blurring, demi-matte / matte. This is full coverage if you want full coverage. This is a very thin foundation. If you put on as much of this foundation as you do your normal foundations, you are going to be in for a huge surprise. You're just gonna have too much coverage on your face. It's not gonna look good. You have to go in with less and just build where you need it, if you even need to build it. This gives so much coverage. This does have hyaluronic acid in it, and it's matte and it's oil free. So, you know, there's some good things going for this foundation. If you like full coverage, this is a great foundation for you. A lot of full coverage lovers love this foundation. I find I don't reach for it that much because I just don't wear full coverage that much. But for a full coverage foundation, this is a great one. I feel like for a special occasion, this is a great one to reach for. It doesn't feel bad or heavy on the skin. It doesn't look cakey if you apply the right amount. But yeah, this is a good foundation. I definitely think it's worth trying if you are a full coverage fan. So those are my top 7 full coverage foundations. Let me know yours down below. Also, take a look at my top foundations playlist. I have it linked above and down below for you guys. Let me know what category you want me to do next. What top foundations do you want to see next? I've had some suggestions in the past. I just want to see where you guys are right now, what category I should tackle next, and I'll do that for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.